Renata perhaps, but I think Renata, Lulu are the two champions that you have to wonder EG are probably talking about, discussing. Yagao, a lot of Talia in the LPL playoffs. Azir was kind of like the two champions that he leaned towards.
Yeah, and Yagao, of course, a real terror when he is able to get out of the lane, when he's able to support those side lanes, see if he's able to find another champion where he can have that same impact, and now see what JDG want to ban away. They could limit some of these impact pocket picks. We've already seen the Mordekai's, you highlighted it already. Instead, they could also take away some more of Jojo Pune's picks, and it looks like that's going to be the case since Silas is banned.
And I think it's the right call, right? We've seen Jojo has been the member for Evil Geniuses popping off and playing so far. He's been an absolute stud. And when he's going to go up against Yagao, who honestly has had the best season of his career in summer in the LPL, I think trying to set him behind and set Yagao for success is the right play.
Leaning towards more of control mages now with these bans coming out. Roaming and skirmishing is gone with Silas, Akali, and Talia being down. There's a Leona ban to deny engage with the follow-up from things like Sejuani. I wonder if we're going to see some kind of Azir Victor picks here. Yagao didn't play any Victor in the LPL playoffs. He was just going Azir Talia most games. Things like Lissandra we saw prop up, but Lissandra Sejuani is not the solo lanes you want. There's the Mordekaiser ban you were talking about. Things like GP stand out to me a little bit now for impact if he wants to lean towards something that can do well into the Sejuani. I think it'll be more of an R5 though, even though they show the Sejuani, because you want to see that they have an immobile bot lane, right? If they pick something like an Enchanter, the GP can work, but it does sting your draft a bit because then you do get counterpicked in mid.
Yeah, and I'm kind of curious where each you're going to go because right now they don't really have a ton of engage. It feels like their composition is going to have to either play from ahead or they're going to have to pivot into something that could play for sides. But no, we're going to get the game plan that you talked about.
Yeah, and the only worry I have here is they can pick something with more mobile, right? If you picked Azir here on 4 and they went Victor Lulu, then GP gets more value. But now they have an Azir with a dash who can actually reposition in the GP ult, so it just makes it a little bit more of a sting, right? Aphelios Thresh is something we've been seeing in Champions Queue, especially range support's normally the kind of things that are good into Pumpkin.
And of course, Thresh naturally balancing out some of the weaknesses that Aphelios has as an immobile AD carry, especially against a champion like Gangplank. We know Gangplank is a nightmare for any AD carry without a dash. That said, really one big single target engage outside of the Thresh, outside of the Viego W. That's the Sejuani, which as we get later and later into the game is going to be less and less relevant against a champion like Tahm Kench.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head there. There's the mobility from the GP4 pick just to deny that global. And now the question is, does Jojo have a strong enough counter to merit that pick? There's the Azir Victor, right? So if that's the control mage mid lane matchup that comes out, could have been something you got more value from, but still, regardless, EG's comp, really strong. A lot of AoE zone control, so many things that JDG have to be careful for. If you're walking up as an Aphelios into a GP ult, into a Victor ult, there's so much damage control that they have. JDG a little bit more single target damage focused in terms of engage, right? Sejuani ult hits into a hook. Need to be very careful, the carries of EG. The Tahm Kench really will help with that.
I feel like that's the big difference to me though, is like, for AG, they want JDG to be walking into them, right? They still don't really have a great way of starting fights for themselves. Like, sure, Carry can go for an ultimate, but point and click ability, skill shot ability, and Vulcan as well. Like, you have an engage on the Tahm Kench, but it doesn't feel like enough to where, for JDG, they can start decisive fights.
Inspired dashes over this wall. He's in trouble. He needs to be really careful.
Hook gonna connect to the Tahm Kench. They read him like a book. Vulcan running for his life, but an easy first blood for JDG.
And that's all scouting, that's all tendencies. EG wanted to get a ward level 1 to track the Viego pathing, and JDG
champion to get out of lane, and especially past the first level. Now the exhaust coming down, hold that thought. Hope backing up, so much damage coming out as far as 3 stacks. Oh my god! The 2v2 versus the LPL.
The EG bot lane just 2v2 killed the first seed LPL's bot lane. Aphelios Thresh, they had counterpick support, they had counterpick AD, EG. The crowd is rallied behind them, and good presence of mind here from Vulcan to just stay like, this AD carry is disrespecting us. He should not be walking past the wave and hitting us. Drops the exhaust instantly, cause Kaori to just start hitting. They managed to chase down, and they managed to get the kill.
And you gotta say overconfidence from Hope. You literally,
honestly, like, great 2v2 kill on bot lane has kind of set up all of this through.
Can they get anything else out? Burning exhaust a little bit early there. Snare follow-up can go into Kaori. Hope's not gonna opt to activate it, however, they'll just focus on clearing the wave instead.
I will say, though, both junglers have been pretty proactive and peeking in the enemy jungle, trying to get that information. We even just saw Kanavi
coming down. GP ult going through. Ignite taking Vulcan now in trouble. White Guns coming out. This is not the fight they were looking for. Oh, those spells burn, but still it's JDG who find the kill. Wave now collapsing. Thresh trying to back. They have to hold on. Your Inspired flashing forward. Auto attacks coming in. Mystic still has the hook. Red, white, but can they fight? That is the question, Kaori. Still standing strong. Hope getting low. The snipe. He gets the double. The
Hex worked out the end for EG. You can understand what they were going for. Cannon Barrage was up. They were stacking the wave. Inspired was there. There might have been a little hiccup, but still coming out with 2 more kills.
Here comes the cross map from JDG. Kanavi saying maybe let's try to look for a top dive. If they pull it off, it'll even out the map state a little bit, but we'll see if Impact can make the outplay happen. Yagal's on the way and Jojo doesn't have TP. Look at Vulcan though, from base running up here, reads the play. Level 5 though, doesn't have the ultimate. No W on Kanavi. I don't know if they can pull this off.
That he doesn't have it. Impact waiting in the area. Not even going to be able to finish that play. The play will fall in the end, but that's all the JDG are going to get in response. EG pulling ahead in the goal. And Jojo, I don't think he's ready for this one. Play backwards, going to look for the hook, but he gets stunned first. Jojo, where's he going to go? Clean flash out, but a flash back from Yagao, and that's going to be the kill in the mid lane.
Not much Jojo can do there. There's no real outplay if Yagao just flashes.
He's there now. Red-white again. Hope walking forward. That's a lot of damage. Hex flash over the wall. Missing, getting so much value out of Hex flash. Just a poster child for him. But the Fury firing back. The forest damage is ludicrous, but not enough to finish the job. And there's fights on the top side. Vulcan taken down. Still looking for more. Fishing for more. 369 and Kanavi are monsters.
Is JDG trying to play both sides of the map?
And there was a 2v2 off screen. Looks like Vulcan was walking up to get some information. No flash from earlier, so they just send its full engage onto him. If they get a reset onto Sejuani, actually does have the flash, but they still get the kill with the follow-up from the Viego ult. And then Impact tries to trade back.
It just goes back to what we set up for JDG, right? That the composition does bring a lot more CC. It makes
ult on the wave to try to slow it down.
Good heads-up play, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Just a little over 3 plates remaining. Whole team now going Impact. Clean flash out, going to try to survive for as long as humanly possible, but he should still fall in the end, or should he? Impact walking away, trying to make it out. There's just no way. Impact, stun coming in, the slow to make sure that it happens. Kanavi grabbing the kill, the tower will fall to the Herald, Kanavi, and 369.
Cross map comes in from EG there. I'm a bit surprised that Jojo didn't TP into defend there, but maybe the
came in as underdog.
Scoop him up, knock him down. There's no ultimate yet on Kanavi. Yes, there is. Looking to take down Jojo. Cut down, dash out from Inspired, but another clean kill for JDG.
Yeah, they're looking for the proactive plays in mid. The
Pocket feels like he's really the one that EG are looking towards. But Kajal, you already set it up. No flash on the Victor. You can see Yagao just going in for a bit of the swoop and boop. They are able to trade him back with Inspired, though.
Definitely are, and that's just how jungle works. When your control mage has no flash, you always have...
Fishing will not find a target. The ult goes a little bit wide, but they're being zoned away from mid. They're giving up the mid lane tower so far for nothing. Just hoping to find a single fight on their turn. But JDG, slow, diligent. They are playing patient into this. Now it's EG who are split. Jojo Pune coming in from the side. Impact zoned away from the fight. Ultimate available. Maybe they can get something done here. 3.5k, getting lower and lower. Hook gonna go in it, connects onto Vulcan. Not an ideal target, but now the fight breaks out. It's Impact on the flank. What can he get done? It's a big barrel, but it's not nearly enough. They will take the dragon, however. Yagao, though, knocking Impact into the rest of the team. But Impact, more than happy to make that work. Evil geniuses finding the angle. They finally find the fight, and they make it work.
And Soul Point was enough. You force him into all these AoE tools. Jojo doing so much damage. The Cannon Barrage layered on top. And now getting themselves on Soul Point.
This was a 5-4-1. And EG got the Dragon as well. Impact's flank just split JDG up so much. And not having the Sejuani ult means that single target damage engage is gone. The hook hits the top Kench. He flashes away. EG just aced the LPL first seed. They got the objective. They're going to get this mid-tier one. And Impact all of a sudden is back in the game. Keep your eyes on the Impact. Hook hits Vulcan. Impact comes in with the barrels. Jojo doesn't fall to the stun. Hope already has to dash away. Then they try to peel back and reposition here, JDG. But the push from Yagao onto Impact doesn't help. It doesn't do anything because EG just barrel forwards.
Yeah, the damage that Impact did there with the Cannon Barrage, and then that one barrel chain was already too much, that by the time that Yagao found the engage, it really didn't mean anything. So, again, this was a team that...
Time with it, you want your champions to be out on the map, but they're going to engage.
Cage now coming out, trying to burn down a single target, but here comes the Devour. They're shutting it down. GPL coming in, TP now coming in, Inspired on the backside. Cowrie still standing strong. They managed to find one, but now it's the resets coming in for the Viego. And this is big, but he's taking the top catch, now getting pushed away by Yagao. Cowrie standing strong. Cowrie, no! Getting knocked down. JDG, the confidence to take the fight. One Devour is not enough. JDG find it.
EG overstepped. Jojo Pune has no flash, and 369 is quick to punish it on the engage. Kaori tried his best in that fight to dish out as much damage as possible, but JDG stands strong, and they're going to get a Baron as a reward.
Exactly. We already hit about the speed of their Baron. Even with only having a couple of members up, Yagao going to be able to absolutely shred this. And honestly, might even be able to finish this in time to get the resets off.
Yep.
With Dragon approaching in 40 seconds.
They're going to have 5 Baron Brows. So let's look at this again. EG trying to contest a mid-wave. 1 minute, 30 seconds away from the Dragon. A bit questionable when Impact's on your top tier 3.
ult connects. Yes, the ETH comes in, but how can Jojo Pyun reposition? He's stuck. But now keep your eyes on Kaori. He actually plays this fight really well. He actually peels himself solo with no Tom Kench next to him, flashes 369's engage, dishes out as much auto attacks as possible despite the Azir ult. But you're just such a numbers disadvantage after the Victor fell and the GP arrives so late that you cannot win this fight.
And massive credit to 369 for finding that ankle or angle. That's a couple second decision that you can make where the Tom Kench is away from the carries, where you can actually find that engage and shut down the fight from the side of EG. But now, here it is. This is the 5v5 that could decide the game.
Soul points for EG. Dropping mid waves. Impact again is split up. They need to wait a little bit longer here. The GP ult's not up, so EG want to stall this. JDG looking for a flank. Yagao and Kanavi going around the side. Pink ward is there to spot them out, but not in the tri-bush. Engage comes in, ult misses.
Ult going wide is big. Kanavi off to the side. They need to turn and burn if they want to make this fight. Oh, Yagao going golden, but it might not matter. JDG still standing strong on the front line. Aphelios untouched on the back. They're shredding through EG. Impact hasn't even joined the fight yet. Hope is throwing down so much damage. Yagao as well. Kanavi now looking for the cleanup. It is absolute destruction in EG's side of the map. But now Impact flashing over the wall, trying to take down Missing, trying to get something back in exchange, but it is a long, slow goodbye for the top laner of EG as Kanavi looks for the chase.
Kanavi and Yagao, the best mid jungle we had in the LPL, challenging the best mid jungle coming out from the LCS and completely taking over that fight.
It's been back and forth, but the consistent factor, the carry right now for JDG is Kanavi. Yagao went for the huge hero play, a lot of defensive tools to avoid it, but it's Kanavi who stays consistent and dishes out so much damage and gets the resets. Impact was so split. He was on mid lane, clearing out a wave, thinking he could look for a flank. So what JDG do is they just commit 5v4 towards this bot side when Impact has no TP from earlier. This is the flank from Kanavi. Yagao comes in, but it's all reset city.
Yeah, it's so great, especially because EG had already used all of their cooldowns onto the Sejuani. So you can see here, Kanavi just waiting for the angle that goes in. Such a great ult over the wall to make sure he can get on the targets of Evil Geniuses. And it might be a bit of an extended chase, but once he gets that first reset, he's just able to keep going as Yagao cleaning up on the opposite side of the fight.
And that's the thing, this is the struggle of the EG composition. If anyone mispositions people for a brief moment, JDG can pull a trigger. There's no trigger for EG.
Nope.
You come into the
Impact just yet doesn't have his ulti up, so I'm not sure if he can find this.
I don't know if either of these guys can kill each other. Oh, with an Ignite he can, though. Burning him down, Impact running. Pirate with gun versus Boar Lady. Oh, Boar Lady takes it. 369. Finding the solo kill.
He's just way too tanky to sit.
I have to feel like JDG are going to be laser focused on that objective. Hope going to be able to solo this one out. EG seeing this as a limited window of opportunity to take the Baron. They've got an on-hit bars. They can shred through it pretty quickly. But you have to know that JDG see this coming.
Collapse coming in, EG forcing it. They could look for the 50-50, but they have to be careful of the teamfight ace. They have to be careful of JDG just taking the fight.
6-9 running forward. Ulti now coming out. Going to connect on the Vulcan. A bit of extra poke. The hook from Missing. Not going to connect. Vulcan flashing out to safety. Such a tense stance. Again, a single mistake could turn this all against EG. 369 stepping forward. EG maybe looking for the pick, looking for the angle. Yagao over the wall. They're split for a brief moment. But meanwhile, Aphelios is in the mid lane. He's got his eyes on the prize. He wants the Nexus, not the Baron.
And this is where the dance will end unless they can find an engage. Vulcan looks for it. No flash, though.
Vulcan fishing. Yagao still untouched for now. The Crown of the Shattered Queen disabled by the GP ult. 369 coming over the wall. Vulcan getting shredded, and now the resets can start to come through from Kanavi, but they're trying to get the kill. 369 taken down. Yagao goes under the ult. Completely whiffs. Kaori untouched on the backside. TP now coming in. EG maybe, just maybe can get the fight, but Kanavi. Big! And oh, baby! It's the 200 years moment. That ult from Aphelios was everything.
Hope has arrived, and he just demolished the carries of Evil Geniuses. It looked good initially when 369 fell, and both the carries flashed Yagao's engage, but Hope shows up.
Hope, first time on the international stage, able to make such an impact. JDG overall, huge team fight.
Massive for the side of JDG that continued to find windows, engage after engage, even in the face of the Tom Kench. EG were close in the early to mid game, but mid to late, JDG taking over, taking their first win on the world stage.